Hi, my name is Adam, and one of the things that I like to do is walk through neighborhoods, through the woods, through parks, and on mountains. I like to walk. So join me, and together we'll take a step to see the world.
Spouting Horns. The eroding of weaker material, or the presence of lava tubes within the coastal rock formation, allow the pulse of the sea to be released and thrown skyward in a release of energy. These spectacular displays vary with the power of the waves. The Pacific Ocean. While all seas are vast across the Earth, the Pacific is the largest. From this harbor, in storm, departed Roy Bauer and Jack Chambers, fishermen of the trolling fleet, October 4th, A.D., 1936, on a mission of rescue. Before the arrival of early homesteaders, coastal Indian tribes speaking nearly 20 different languages, including Chinook, Salishan, Swisla, and Alsea, lived in the general area. The natural harbor in Depoe Bay was used for seal hunting and fishing. There were many streams in the area, which provided an abundance of fish. The rugged coastline in area of current Depoe Bay had beautiful features such as Arch Rock, the Spouting Horns, sea cliffs and terraces, many caves, and even a subterranean freshwater lake, but was lacking in easy access to sandy beaches.
Arg be the seas.
In 1855, the U.S. Army established a supply station in a slough off the Yaquina River, about 1 mile from the present junction of Highway 229 and Highway 20 near Toledo. In 1856, the Coast Reservation was formed, and Indians from many miles around were removed from their homes to the new reservation. Supplies for the Silet's Indian Agency, which oversaw the reservation, were brought there by ocean-going vessels and then carried overland. Today, this water is called Depoe Slough. A lot of stuff actually smells good out here. Huh. That's cool. Hi, baby. Boop, boop. Oh, the crows. Hi, baby. Baby crows. It crows. Oh, it's Doggo. Doggo. Well, you told the birds and all me. And this is for you. Really? I'm glad I brought the damn thing, huh? Yeah, okay. Oh, welcome to Depoe Bay, and this is where Depoe Bay is known as the whale-watching capital of the Oregon coast. From March to December, there is a pod of gray whales that make their home within view of the whale-watching center here. You can also charter a boat in town not too far from here to get a closer view of the pod. The state of Oregon built this main seawall in 1941. When the Depoe Bay Bridge was originally built in 1927, it was a massive 18 feet wide. It's not that big. 13 years later, a second span was built, bringing the bridge to 48 feet wide, with sidewalks on both sides, and this small walkway with added graffiti, which demonstrates we don't deserve nice things, underneath. This bridge, placed on the National Registry of Historic Places in 2005, measures 312 feet long.
More pigeons.
I see these pigeons nesting beneath the bridge. I'll have to keep that in mind if I ever want proof that baby pigeons actually exist. In 1878, a man named Dr. F.W. Vincent and his grandfather sailed up the coastline from Newport and observed a break in what looked like a wall of rock. They sailed closer in their 40-foot boat and entered what they described as a beautiful little harbor, which is the present-day Depoe Bay Harbor, where they found anchor chains from a boat, 2 headlights, and the letters U.S. They called the little harbor Wrecker's Cove. This bay is small. At only 6 acres, the city promotes it as the world's smallest navigable harbor. The entry to the bay, a 50-foot wide, 100-foot-long channel, connects to the Pacific. It's always been a shallow harbor. Construction improvements over the last century have actually seen the harbor double in size, as well as the depth to deepen from 5 feet to a current low-tide depth of 8 feet. And in fact, in the early days, boats would sail in here and anchor during high tide, and then when high tide would go out, the boats would just be resting on the sand underneath.
There's a good place, the Camel Corn Connection. Oh.
Time to hit up some shops. The town's namesake is a man named Depoe Charlie.
Saltwater taffy.
One of those who were forcibly removed to the coast reservation from his ancestral home in the Rogue, Tutuni River Valley, was a young Tutuni Joshua Indian named Charles. Minutes from the council held at the Siletz Agency on December 15, 1873, with chiefs of the Confederated Tribes reflect the following statement by Depoe Charlie. I've heard many things. I am not going to tell. You told us not to speak about anything except great things. I am sorry for one thing. I am sorry to have you leave today in this storm. I would like you to stay here today. We'll tell you one thing, and I want you to put this in your heart. You have a good heart. So have I. I think now we are beginning to do better. Church members have come here and taught us, and now we are all trying to be good. Do you think it would be well for these bad white men to come and drive off good men, both white and Indian? That is all I want to say. One thing more. We want a saw and flour mill. You see this old building. We would like a sawmill to build a good church. I want you to put what I say in your heart. We want a flour mill. Then we can raise our own wheat and make our own flour and sell it and get money. Now, we have no wagons. We want wagons. I am not chief, but I will talk to you. I want these old people to have wagons. I don't want to see old women pack wood on their backs. Government has but few wagons, and the Indians but few. One thing more. Do you intend the good that are coming to be given to us, or to be sold us? I don't mind either way. I want to talk about great things. I want all my people to hold up their hands. All of these people belong to the church and believe in God. God sees you. I am talking to my brother. That is what I call you.
Filming the sign.
I think I have talked straight to you.
Filming the sign.
As the years passed, Charlie became a leader in his community and eventually was called chief. Former Lincoln County Historical Society archivist Jody Weber said his title was earned rather than inherited. The July 12, 1918 edition of the Lincoln County Leader reported, Charlie Depoe, a leading man among the Indians, was a chief of the Joshua tribe and was noted for his good sense and wise counsels and hospitality among the Indians. No one ever went away hungry from the home of Depoe Charlie.
Pop rocks. Oh, they sold those things anymore, really? Huh. Teeth buckle. Teeth buckle. No cheese popcorn. Cheese popcorn's all gone. That is too bad. No cheese popcorn? Got some good looking candies. I haven't been in here in like 15 years. What's this? Oh, gross. Ooh. Look at the chocolate covered gummy bears, huh?
These two. I need you to make a sale.
It's Gracie's sea hag. Wine tasting. Okay.
This building appears to be folding in on itself.
That's a taffy. Huh. Here's a bird shop, Mystic Trove. Pause of the day, I think it's a pet shop. I think. Oceanography 101. That's cool. Yeah. Crushed and crafted. Coastal Curators. Sapphirus Kite Store. I got a friend who flies kites on the beach all the time. You've probably been in here before. Bigfoot's something new coming. And Mr. Nice Guy.
According to the rolls of the 1885 census, Charlie and his wife Minerva were aged 50 and 48, respectively, and they had 5 children: William, Delia, Robert, Clara, and Matilda. 9 years later, in 1894, when the U.S. government took back much of the coast reservation land, members of the Siletz tribes were given 80-acre land allotments throughout the area. Charlie and Minerva each received 40 acres to the north of present-day Depoe Bay, according to the original allotment maps on file of the Historical Society. Altogether, over 200 acres of undeveloped land that lay beside a small ocean bay were given to Charlie and his heirs. An official plat circa 1915 documents that Charlie, his wife Minnie, and children Matilda and William owned all of the oceanfront land beside the bay. The land extended from the northern side of what is today Boiler Bay to the area now known as South Point. Charlie and Minnie resided on the land until their deaths. Charlie and Minerva's daughter, Matilda, was awarded acreage that is now within Depoe Bay city limits, from the small peninsula south to the middle of the harbor. Her brother William was awarded the acreage from the bay to present-day South Point Street. Charlie's great-grandson, Chief William Hauser Depoe Sr., was born on December 14, 1929, to Robert Charles and Mary Hauser Depoe. He was the fourth of 5 children: Reggie, Chuck, Peter, then William, and Roberta. He was a World War II veteran, a National Indian Basketball All-Star, and a professional musician who played with Lionel Hampton and Tommy Dorsey. He spent his last 15 years in Depoe Bay, where he appeared in regalia at community events and devoted much of his time to Native American cultural development. Depoe Bay's Memorial Wall. Chief W.H. Depoe Sr. died in 1997, and his son, Chief William Chueskla Depoe, holds his now hereditary title. He is the second oldest of 5 children: Charlotte, then William, Ronald, Eileen, and Peter. Chief Chueskla has participated in athletics all his life, and still actively participates in many events, including basketball tournaments, jogging, the tribe's annual Run to the Rogue, and dancing at the annual Gathering of Nations powwow in New Mexico. He also attends the annual Fleet of Flowers held in Depoe Bay on Memorial Day. Around the time the town was being born, many Siletz Indians sold their land for low prices to land developers, and others forfeited their property because they hadn't paid property taxes. Titles of the Historical Society show that the land owned by Matilda and William Depoe was sold after their deaths by their siblings Delia, Robert, and Clara in 1923 to a Siletz Indian couple, Frank and Rachel Carson, who eventually sold the property to a real estate speculator named Lee Williams for $6,000. In late 1926, or possibly early 1927, Williams sold it to the Sunset Investment Company for $10,000. Sunset divided the land around the bay into 185 lots, which sold for $100 each. In the late 1920s, when the Sunset Investment Company purchased the Depoe's land with the intent of establishing a town here, a rosy future was predicted for the new town. It was believed to be destined that the town would become one of the leading summer and winter resorts on the Pacific coast. Oh, how wrong they were.